Okay, we'll come to our mat and find a cross-legged position that's working for you. And I'm going to work a little bit on lotus and getting a little more comfortable with lotus pose. And it's a work in progress for me. So I will take a half lotus to begin. I know Christina is really good at her lotus work. So and Lily wants to work a little bit on getting some hip work in and some hip stretching done. So this is a good way to get started, and we'll become centered in a lotus pose or a comfortable cross-legged pose. Maybe taking a few good breaths to begin our class. Becoming present on the mat. Working at squaring up our sitting bones to the mat. Extending the spine nice and tall. Chest is open. Attentive but relaxed posture. And you can rest your wrists on your knees. And your hands on your knees. And begin settling into the mat through the breath. So inhaling through the nose. And exhaling softly and gently. And in this initial settling and grounding work, we're working toward becoming present, turning within, familiarizing yourself with your body, with what it's bringing to the mat. And it's also a great time to create an intention for your day, an intention for your practice. And I like to take these first few minutes to really be present with what I'm feeling, because I always like to make that comparison with how I feel after a practice. We continue to bring the breath in through the nose. Eyes are closed. Muscles in the face are relaxed. Let's start paying attention to the breath in the belly. Expanding the belly, contracting the belly. Bringing that breath into the deepest recesses of our lungs. You may notice a different feeling in your body and the energy of your body as the breath comes in. Maybe a little awakening in the brain. A little settling with the nerves. Expanding the belly, contracting the belly. Always working toward lengthening the breath, lengthening the inhale, lengthening the exhale. We'll take a few more breaths here in the belly. And then move the breath up into the chest. Feeling your rib cage expand, the chest open, broaden. You might feel your shoulders raising with the inhale. And again, contracting and pushing out the entire breath on the exhale. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Targeting the middle of our chest. Separating each rib from the one next to it. Expanding and contracting. And allowing your hips to soften and relax a little more with each breath. And we'll take a few more breaths here in the chest and move the breath up into the throat. Okay, with the breath in the throat, you might notice a little bit of coolness as you inhale and warmth as you exhale. Paying attention as more oxygen is getting into your brain. Settling and calming and relaxing with each exhale. Eyes are gently resting in the socket. The muscles in the face are relaxed and soft. Feeling the breath in the throat. We'll take a couple more here. And put all 3 breaths together. Inhaling from the base of the spine, up through the chest, through the throat, the head, and back down. So what we're doing is we're engaging each of the chakras from the base of the spine, up and out the crown of the head as we're inhaling and exhaling. Bringing more energy and awareness into the body. Noticing the soothing, settling, relaxing of the body as we breathe. Inhaling from the base of the spine, out the crown of the head, down to the base of the spine. And we'll take a few more breaths here. And we'll work on changing the leg posture. So bring the opposite leg on top. If you're in half lotus, bring the opposite leg to the top of the thigh. And if you're just in a cross-leg position, you can adjust your legs and rotate the legs. Working at keeping both of the hips square to the mat, both of the sitting bones square to the mat. Let's bring a little bit of movement into the neck and into the shoulders. So that we'll tilt our left ear to the left shoulder, pull the right ear away from the right shoulder. Inhaling deeply, you'll notice as you feel your lungs, feel your chest cavity, that you can increase that stretch. Release and tilt our right ear to the right shoulder. Pinching into the right side, stretching into the left side. Tilt the left ear to the left shoulder. Deep breaths. It helps you to imagine inhaling all the way up the spine, exhaling all the way down the spine to keep that breath steady and deep and lengthened. Right ear, right shoulder. Okay, we'll gaze over the left shoulder, pushing the chin past the left shoulder, separating the right ear from the right shoulder. Keeping that flexibility into the neck, gazing over the right shoulder. Separating the left ear from the left shoulder. Gaze left. Gaze right. Now we'll rotate our shoulders, inhaling, bringing our shoulders up, shrugging them up, exhaling, pressing them down as we pull our ears up. Inhaling, shrug. Exhaling, pulling, stretching and lengthening, inhaling, exhaling, and then we'll work on a couple of clockwise rotations, coordinating with the breath, inhaling as we're coming up, exhaling as we come down, inhaling up, exhaling down, and reverse the rotation. Try and find the farthest reaches of the stretch in every position that your shoulders are in. Starting to bring movement and lubrication into these shoulder joints. Okay, if you're in lotus and feel like you need to relax a little bit, you can continue down to a cross-leg position, lace our fingers together, press the palms to the wall in front of us, separating our shoulder blades, creating space between our shoulder blades. Now dip the chin into the chest, bringing in deep chest breaths. And you'll notice more stretch as you inhale deeply. And exhale. One more deep inhale, push forward. Exhale. Okay, clasp the fingers together behind the back, so you're creating a fist behind your back, pressing your arms straight, pressing the fist toward the wall, opening up into the chest. And you're welcome to lift the chin to continue to open into the chest, or you can bring those arms up and flex forward a little bit. Working on straight arms, deep breathing. And then we'll return to a neutral position. Take a few breaths here. Breathing deeply. And we'll press our palms to the walls to the side, stretching into the armpit, and then take our fists and pull our fists in together with straight arms pressing between the shoulder blades, strengthening into the shoulder blades. Release it, press the distance between the walls, opening into the armpits, and release it, pull those fists together, straight arms. See if you can hold a pencil or imagine holding a pencil between your shoulder blades. Release, and it might feel really nice to stretch your palm forward, tuck that chin in one more time, and then we'll come to a table pose. Bring some flexibility into the spine with some cat-cow work. Remember, the movement in cat-cow is mid-spine, upper spine. Holding the low spine as stable as possible so that we're not dumping a lot of stress and tension into the low spine. Exhaling as the chin comes in. Inhaling as we're opening up. Exhaling as the chin comes in. Inhaling as we're opening up, coming back to a camel pose on our knees, hip distance apart. We're pressing our hips forward, squeezing the glutes in, and I'll do a half camel for the first time and then a full camel for the second time. Inhaling, lifting our arms up, bringing our palms to the back pockets, sliding our hands down into the back pockets, really squeezing those glutes tight, pressing the hips forward, opening into the chest by squeezing the shoulder blades, lifting the chin, holding our core tight, so tuck that navel in close to the spine. Deep breath here. One more breath, and we'll come to an extended puppy. Arms come forward. Bringing a new stretch into the spine, pulling the fingertips away from the sitting bones, and we'll return to a kneeling position. And we'll do camel one more time, and I'll go into full camel this time, so listen to your body, to your spine, what you're ready for. Never reach back one side to the other. Always bring that spine back straight when you're coming back. We don't want to have it twisted as we're moving it. So no two movements with the spine at the same time, one movement at a time. Okay, inhaling, lifting the arms up. And you can bring those arms back, slide them into the back pockets, or bring them down to the heels. Opening up farther into the chest, squeeze those glutes together, push the hips forward, lift the chin, open the chest. And release. One more time into extended puppy. Reaching forward. It's feeling really good to get some stretching into the body. Let's bring our right leg forward and put our weight on our left knee. So we'll keep our chest open and start to pull the toes by flexing the heel into the body. And then we can bring our hands to the mat. And create a real nice stretch in the back of our right leg, working at keeping the right leg as straight as we can, flexing the heel, feeling that stretch in the back of the knee, the hamstring. You can even try and pull that right hip back a little bit, feel a little more stretch. Okay, we'll release it. Come to our right knee, left leg extends out. And we'll come up straight again. Kind of settle into this pose, flex the left heel, torso is straight. Take a few breaths. And then leaning forward, flexing the left heel, pulling the left hip away from the left heel while you're pressing the back of the left knee closer to the mat. Stretching into the hamstring, the back of the leg. Try and flex the heel a little bit more and bring it into the calf. And then we'll rotate to the long side of the mat, our legs apart, and we'll move from side to side. So we'll come in a little bit slowly at first, stretching into the left hip and into the right hip as well. And I like to take my elbow and kind of press it up against, so my right elbow against my right knee, and I can create a little more stretch into the right side here. And then we'll move to the left. Always moving with the breath, inhaling as we expand and open up, exhaling as we contract. Inhaling, move to the right. See if you can bring that left leg and your left hip a little lower to the mat this time. And moving to the left, bringing the right hip a little bit lower to the mat. Okay, let's move one more time right. And one more time left. Okay, move to a forward fold, wide legs. Bringing your arms closer to the mat, your hands closer to the mat, straightening the legs. Bringing your chest a little closer to the mat. Stretching. And we'll release. Bring it back up. And bring it one more time down. Wide leg forward fold. This time maybe see if you're interested in tucking your chin a little closer to your chest. Now with a flat spine, hands to hips, using strength in the back of the legs, hinging forward and up. You might want to rotate your feet out a little bit farther and we'll come into some goddess work. So coming down into our goddess work, really working on pressing the hips forward, squeezing the glutes in, lowering our torso, and then bring some strong arms into this. And we'll hold it here for a moment. And inhale to push up. Relax for a second, stretching up, exhale, pulling down. Real strong arms, keep tension between the shoulder blades. Deep breathing, inhale, reaching up, exhale, pulling down. So you can come a little bit farther into these goddess poses. Chest is open, tension between the shoulder blades. Now think about your navel tucking in. And push up, inhaling, exhaling, pull down. Holding a little bit longer this time. Starting to build a lot of heat. And release. And stepping out. a little bit. We'll continue to do a little bit of goddess work. This time we'll work on elbows to knees. So the elbow comes up to the knee, and then we come back down into the goddess. And we'll add some variations on from there. Okay, back into our goddess. Inhale and exhale, right elbow, left knee. Left elbow, right knee. Right elbow, left knee. And we have 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll pause in goddess. Push it up and shake it out. Okay, the next time we bring our right arm out, left leg out, and then left arm out, right leg out, and we'll do it 8 times. So come back to goddess. Inhale and exhale, reaching out and down. Left, right, left. There's 6 left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to goddess, holding goddess. Push those hips forward, arms back, and release. Should feel some real heat in the legs, feeling heat. Your heart rate might be increasing a little bit. This time from goddess, we'll go right fingertips, left toes, and then left fingertips, right toes, and then back into goddess in between. So come back to goddess. And right toes left, left fingers, right toes. Right fingers, left toes, left to right. Trying to think too much. 6 more. 6, 8, or 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to goddess. We'll hold this for 2 or 3 good deep breaths. Release it when you're ready. Inhaling as you reach up and shake it out. You might want to grab a drink real quick, and we'll come to the top of our mat and work through some sun salutations very, very slowly. And I'll do some modifications with coming from the forward fold to standing to accommodate my back. So I will come to a squat to stand instead of pendulum to stand. Okay, so come to the top of the mat. Hands at heart center. Let's check our posture. Our spine is lengthened. See if you can increase your height by an inch. Squeezing the glutes, pressing the hips forward, inhaling to reach up. Separating the hands. Nice and slowly here, reach up a little bit higher. Now really squeeze the glutes in. Press the hips forward, reaching back. Remembering the breath, hinging from the hip with a flat spine, keeping that spine nice and straight. Movement comes from the hips, coming to a forward fold. And you should feel yourself nice into this fold. We've got our bodies warmed up a little bit here. Take your breaths, lift those sitting bones right up toward the ceiling and come to a half lift. So we're really going to press into the shins, squeezing the elbows close to the sides of our body, pulling the head to the wall in front of us. You should feel some good strengthening happening in the back of your upper arm. And coming back to a forward fold, and we'll drop our right leg to the back of the mat. So right leg comes to the back, and we'll stay here in a high lunge, working on stretching out this right calf. So press the right heel into the mat, and you can lean forward and back, forward and back, forward, and back. And then let's come into a deeper lunge by dropping the right knee to the mat. And you can come up into this, taking a few breaths, pressing the front of the right hip closer to the mat. Bring your hands back to the mat. We'll take our left foot to the back of the mat and find ourselves in a plank. And we'll pause in this plank so you can find modified plank, or you can have your fists to the mat if your wrists get tired. We'll kind of rest here in our plank, tucking the navel in, pressing our hips lower to the mat, and then we'll drop our knees to the mat, and our chest and our chin come right between our hands, tucking those elbows tight to the sides of our body. And we'll pause here for a moment, hike those hips up. The laces side of your feet come to the mat, elbows stay tucked tight, and we're going to lift up into Cobra and pause in Cobra. So in Cobra, you really want to stretch your ears out from your shoulders, so press the shoulders down, elbows squeezing into the sides of your rib cage, nice and bent. Lace the side of your feet to the mat. One more breath here, and we'll inhale, straight arm to up dog. And up dog is kind of a little break. You can rest on your joints, and your muscles get a little bit of a break here. And we'll inhale, flow through, lifting the hips to down dog. So our toes come to the mat, lifting the hips into down dog. Good stretch here. So we'll pause in down dog for a moment. See if you can press your heels to the back of the mat. Press your head in between your shoulders, straight arms. Breathing. And let's open up to the right side. So we'll create a good stretch all along the right side of the rib cage by opening up to the long side of the right side of the mat. And left. So opening up to the left side of the mat, stretching along the left hip, the left ribs, the left shoulder. And now let's step our right foot between our hands. And we find ourselves in our lunge again. So let's stretch into the left side with this lunge. Pressing the left heel back, the left hip closer to the mat. Drop the left knee to the mat. Deepen the lunge here. Really lower those hips. Breathing into this side. And then we'll step our left foot between our hands, meeting to the right foot. Into forward fold. Let's come a little bit deeper into forward fold. Work on lifting those sitting bones high as you can get so that you're creating a nice stretch all along the hamstring into the glute. Getting the chest closer to the legs, straightening the legs. We'll come back to a half lift. Pressing into the shin, the head reaches out to the wall in front of us. Those elbows are squeezing in, we're straightening into the back of the upper arm. Come back to a forward fold, and you can hinge pendulum to standing, or you can squat to stand. Bring our arms back up, and we did the right side of our sun salutation. So nice and slow, we'll do it again on the left side, reaching up, squeeze those glutes in, extending back. Deep breath here. Flat spine, hinge from the hip, pendulum forward to a forward fold. And hike those sitting bones up to the ceiling, half lift. Press into the shins, tuck the elbows tight, straighten the arms, strengthen the arms, forward fold. And our left foot comes to the back of the mat. So left foot steps back to the back of the mat. We find ourselves in this lunge again. And we'll drop our left knee to the mat. And let's bring our right arm over and we'll come into a new form with a lunge opening into the hips. Forearms come to the mat. This is a lizard pose here. Forearms to the mat, stretching into the right hip. Now let's lift up out of the lizard pose and we'll bring our right foot to the back of the mat, finding our plank again. Lowering the hips, finding the form of the plank that's working for your body. Squeeze those glutes, tuck the navel tight to the spine, holding this plank, finding strength here, using the breath, keep oxygen into those muscles. Lower the knees, the chest and chin. Keep those elbows tucked tight to the body, chest and chin right between the hands. Hike the hips up, bring our laces to the mat, slide forward, tuck the elbows, coming up to cobra. Stretch the ears away from the shoulders. Elbows squeezing into the rib cage. Keep them bent. Lace the side of the feet are down. And we'll come up a little bit higher into up dog. Chin up. Rotate the hips, flowing through to down dog. Finding a good stretch here. And we'll bring our left foot to the front of the mat, stepping forward. Stretching into the right hip again. And our right foot comes forward. And a forward fold. Half lift. Pressing into the shins, straighten those legs. Hike the sitting bones up. Forward fold, and you can hinge to stand or squat to stand. Bringing the arms back up, we'll work on the right side. Arms up, tuck the glutes, squeeze them, reaching back. Forward fold. To a half lift and a forward fold. And we'll pause here for a moment, doing a leg lift on the right side and on the left side. So if you need to bend your knees a little bit or reach your hands out in front, whatever you need to do to modify to get your hands to the floor. I'll show you a modification by reaching out a little bit farther or a bent knee. So depending on the flexibility of my body, my leg lift may look like this, or I could bring it back this way and then come straight up. So you find what works for your body. Forward fold, lifting our right leg as high as we can get it. Really push that right knee up, higher, straightening the left leg, straightening both arms as much as you can, pushing the knee a little higher. Working on some strengthening here, a lot of balance happening, flexibility, a little higher, and we'll release. And we'll come back up to a half lift. Give ourselves a breath to breathe, to relax. Coming back onto the forward fold, we'll lift the left leg this time. Inhale, push the left leg up. Straighten the right leg as much as possible. Lift the left knee as high as you can get it. Straighten the left leg as straight as you can get it. Don't forget that breath. Let's push it up a little bit higher. Reach higher, 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 and release. And this time our right leg comes back. And our left leg comes back. We'll find ourselves in a plank again. Knees, chest and chin. Cobra. Up dog. Down dog. Right leg comes forward. Left leg comes forward. Forward fold. Half lift. Forward fold. Inhale to stand or squat to stand. Reaching up. Extending our arms back, forward fold, half lift, forward fold, left leg comes back, and our right leg comes back, plank. We'll hold here in a plank for just a minute. If you need to modify your plank, come down to the knees, and we'll do side plank. So we'll drop our right knee first, if you'd like to, or you can keep the legs up. I'll show you a modified side plank. We'll open to the left side of the mat. You can keep your left hand to the hip or bring the left arm up. Find what's working for your body. One more breath and release it. Coming back to our plank. And we'll work on the side plank on the right side. So if you'd like to, you can drop your left knee to the mat, rotate to the long side of the mat, and lift the right arm up. You can gaze up over the right arm, working on strength. It's good balance work here. And release it. Back to plank. Knees, chest and chin. Cobra. Dog. Down dog. Right leg forward. Left leg forward. Forward fold. Half lift. Forward fold. Inhale to stand. And we'll work on the left side this time. I think I might have messed that up a little bit. I'm losing my mind today. Reaching up, extending back, forward fold. Half lift. Forward fold. Left leg comes back. Right leg comes back. Finding a plank. Knees. Chest and chin, and we'll pause here, chest and chin, and we'll work on a couple of leg lifts here. So we'll lift our left leg first. See if you can hike those hips up a little bit higher. You can squeeze in a little bit closer. Inhale, lift the left leg. Squeeze the elbows close to the body. Push that left leg up higher. Remembering your breath, and release. This time we'll bring the right leg up, push the right leg up, squeeze the arms in, keep that breath steady, push it up a little higher, release. Coming up to Cobra, pausing Cobra, squeeze the arms into the rib cage. Strengthening into the arms, lifting to up dog, flowing through to down dog. Left leg comes forward. With our left leg forward, I think we forgot the lizard on the left side, so we're going to work on the lizard so we can balance out sides. Bring your left arm to the inside of your left leg. And come down onto your forearms. And we'll stretch into this left side. Always want to keep both sides balanced. Lowering the front of the right hip closer to the mat, stretching the left knee far away from the right heel. And then coming back up. And we'll bring the right foot forward to our forward fold. Few breaths here and forward fold, half lift, strengthen into the back of the upper arms, pressing into the shins, lifting the sitting bones, reaching the head forward. And back to a forward fold. Inhale to stand or squat to stand. And then hands to heart center. Okay, I'd like to do 4 sets of sun salutations, 2 right, 2 left. So we'll do right, left, and we'll just go through without pauses or any variations. And then we'll come down to the mat and do the rest of our mat work. Okay, top of the mat, Remember, a right side, a left side, a right side, the left side. And that is if I remember to do it correctly and my mind doesn't wander and I forget what I'm doing. Hands at heart center. Inhale to reach up. Squeeze the glutes, reaching back. Forward fold. Half lift. Forward fold. Right leg back. Left leg back. Plank. Knees. Chest and chin. Cobra to up dog. Down dog. Right foot forward, left foot forward, forward fold, half lift, inhale to stand or squat to stand, reaching up, extending back, forward fold, flat spine, half lift, forward fold, left foot comes back, right foot comes back, plank, knees, chest and chin, cobra to up dog, down dog, left leg comes forward, right leg comes forward, forward fold, half lift, forward fold, inhale to stand, one more right, one more left, reaching up, extending back, forward fold, half lift, forward fold, right leg back, left leg back, plank, knees, chest and chin, cobra, up dog, down dog, right leg forward, left leg forward, forward fold, half lift, forward fold, inhale to stand, one more left side, reaching up, extending back, forward fold, half lift, forward fold, left leg comes back, right leg comes back, a plank, knees, chest and chin, cobra, up dog, down dog, left leg, right leg, forward fold, half lift, forward fold, squat to stand or inhale to stand, reaching up, and hands come back to heart center. We'll take a few breaths to get our heart rate slowed down a little bit. Resting and relaxing. And when you're ready, you can shake it out. And I think while we're standing here, we'll do a standing balance pose. So one right side, one left side, we'll do tree pose. You choose where you want to put your foot. Kickstand it to the ankle of the calf or up into the thigh, closer to the groin. Okay, you decide. We'll start lifting our right leg first. So let's really root our left foot into the mat, strengthening and straightening, imagining this left leg completely full of concrete for a steady base. We'll inhale and bring our foot up to your determined position. Finding your point of concentration on the floor, 6 to 8 feet in front of you. And if you're interested, hands can come to heart center. Gently together, like you're holding a feather. And we'll inhale, reaching up. A little bit higher. Working at complete steadiness. Breath and release. Shake it out. And we'll do it on the right side. So root that right foot into the mat, fill it with concrete, get a nice steady base. Find your point of concentration, 6 to 8 feet in front of you, and bring your foot up. We always want to avoid the knee when we're bringing our foot up into tree pose. Keep your hands at your hips or bring them into prayer position. If you're interested, inhale, reaching up over the head. Working on complete steadiness. We'll take one more breath here and release it. And shake it out, and we'll come to the mat, and it should feel so nice to be on the mat. I'm always so surprised at how sun salutations slowly can be so incredibly fatiguing for my body. I can work through them quickly, and it doesn't feel like near the challenge of doing it slowly and methodically. Maybe that's a good life lesson. Okay, we'll work on stack pose for just 1 minute, kind of settle ourselves into the mat here. Sitting bones rooted into the mat, heels are flexed, back of the legs pressed to the mat, kneecaps pulled into the thigh, spine extended, navel tucked to the spine, lifting the pelvic floor, chest is open, slight tension between the shoulder blades, and we'll hold this for 1 minute. Remembering that breath, and if it helps, imagine inhaling from the base of the spine, up the spine, exhaling down the spine, working at deepening the breath, lengthening the breath. Eyes can be closed. Muscles in the face are soft. Let's check into that navel, make sure it's tucked to the spine. Make sure your pelvic floor, like an elevator, is lifted up. Kneecaps pulled to the thighs. Backs of the knees pressed into the mat. Hands resting gently to the side. Heels flexed. We have 2 more breaths here. And release it. Relax. Bring our feet, our palm, or the soles of our feet together. Pull them in, working on butterfly. Pressing our legs down with our elbows. Keeping a flat spine. I'm noticing that my spine hunches over a little bit. I want to keep it flat, hinge from the hips. And then I can come a little bit farther by grabbing the toes, pressing the elbows to the mat, and bringing my hands closer to my head. Release, and we'll keep our right foot close to our body, and we'll move our left leg out to the side of the body. So you can keep that as wide as you'd like to, so find what's comfortable for you. We'll work on a few stretches with a wide leg stance. So the first one, we'll take our left elbow to the inside of our left knee and reach our right arm over. So inhale, and on the exhale, bring the left elbow in to the inside of the left knee. And then I'm stretching from my right fingertips all along my right arm, right shoulder, right rib cage into the right hip, reaching out over the left toes. And now we'll rotate our chest, try and center our chest over our left knee and reach toward our toes, bringing our chest to our left knee. Using the breath. See if you can imagine yourself coming a little bit farther with each exhale. And then we'll come back, dropping the left elbow inside the left knee, reaching over with the right arm, stretching all along the right side. And we'll rotate, center our chest over our left knee, and reach forward towards our left toes. You'll notice that your right elbow comes up, or right shoulder comes up. You want to try and keep right and left shoulders parallel to the floor. And release. Okay, this time our left foot comes close to our body, and our right leg extends out to the side. And we'll work on the same 2 stretches. Our right elbow comes to the inside of our right leg. So we're reaching over, bringing the right elbow inside the right knee, left arm reaches over. And I'm going to try and stretch the fingertips over the left toes. Breathing deeply. Now we'll rotate, bringing the center of the chest over the knee, and then reach towards the right toes. Trying to keep both of our shoulders parallel to the floor. This time you'll notice your left elbow wants to lift, or left shoulder wants to lift. Right elbow to the inside of the right knee, left arm reaches over, the body reaches toward the right toes, stretching into the rib cage. And then we'll rotate, centering the chest over the knee, working at getting both shoulders parallel to the mat, parallel to the floor. Deep breaths. And then we'll release. Okay, both legs come out this time. And if you need to, you can stretch out the knees a little bit, put some movement into them. If you've noticed them starting to get uncomfortable. And then come into a wide leg stance. Let's sit here for a moment. Stretching the spine nice and tall, opening the chest. And we're going to do a forward fold. And I want you to imagine your spine nice and straight, hinging from the hip, lying your chest to the floor. We want to really avoid the hunching of our back. We want to just keep it nice and flat as we flex forward. Getting a stretch nice into the deep parts of the hip and protecting the spine. So if you'd like to, you can reach up on this, or you can support your forward fold with your hands, again, aiming at hinging from the hip, flat spine, coming forward. Imagine the exhale allowing you to soften and relax. Notice how tight your hips become. Each move you make into the fold a little bit farther. The hips automatically want to protect and tighten, and it's mental work to get them to loosen. Trying to find softness in the pose. And we'll release coming up out of it. And we'll do one more. So if you need to, put some movement back into the hips. It's a lot of tension on those hips. And always listen to your body and know that my joints are hypermobile. So what may look comfortable to me is only because my body was put together in a different way than a lot of bodies. So be patient with your body as you're coming into greater flexibility. So find your wide leg stance. Again, our spine is flat and straight. Inhaling. And on the exhale, coming forward, flat spine, hinging from the hip, trying to drop our chest to the floor. Remember, we want to avoid that rounded spine. We want to keep the spine nice and flat. And if you need to, then just put your hands in front of you to support your spine, coming down. Each exhale falling a little bit farther into the pose. Working towards finding as much comfort and relaxation as you can in the pose. One more breath. Really try and soften, ease, and relax, and release. Okay. Swing our legs together. We can wrap our arms around our knees a little bit. and bring some stretch in between our shoulders. So I'm going to wrap my right arm around the outside of my left calf, the left arm around the outside of my right calf, tuck my forehead to my knees, and then pull out in between my shoulder blades and into my spine, creating a good stretch in my spine. And then we'll slide ourselves down onto our backs, working on a few knee dips, and then we can end with some bridge work. Fingertips, or actually let's take our right hand around our right ankle, left hand around the left ankle, soles of our feet to the floor, and we'll drop our right knee to the mat and gaze over our right shoulder. You'll notice a lot of tightness in the front of our legs. And it doesn't take long to loosen up the front of the legs. Left knee to the mat, gazing over the left shoulder. Using the exhale to lower yourself farther into the flex, farther into the fold. Release. Right knee, gaze over the right shoulder. Coming a little bit farther into the knee dip. Left knee, left shoulder. Right knee, right shoulder, pressing that right knee down a little bit farther. Left knee, left shoulder. One more right side, one more left side. Right and left. Now let's bring our fingertips to our heels. We'll come up into a bridge pose, and I think we'll do 2 bridge poses. So you can find any variation of bridge up to wheel pose that you're comfortable with. I'm going to stick with bridge pose, and I'll work on 2 different variations. So you figure out what's working best for your body. You're welcome to follow me if you'd like to. So inhale, pushing our hips up, high as we can get them. Squeezing the glutes, tucking the navel into the spine, pressing into the mat with the arms, with the hands, so the palms are pressing into the mat. Lift those hips a little bit higher. Press the soles of the feet into the mat. So we're pressing the soles of our feet, the palms of our hands into the mat, and let's lift an inch higher. Squeeze the glutes, tuck the navel, reach up higher, and slowly, slowly release. So we're coming back down slowly. And my body is feeling really tired today. Couple of deep breaths again, and we'll come up into one more pose, and I'll do an extension, grabbing my, lacing my fingertips together underneath with straight arms. So you're welcome to repeat what we just did or follow me into a different variation. Inhale, lifting the hips, pressing the hips in, and I'm going to roll my shoulder blades a little closer together so I can rotate or roll from side to side, straight arms, grabbing my hands behind my back, straight arms, fingers laced together, and now I'm really pressing my hips up, focusing on my glutes, squeezing them nice and tight, pressing the hips up a little bit higher, remembering the breath, and coming down slowly, slowly, slowly. And if you feel tension in your back, you can bring the knees into a knee press. And release to a shavasana that you choose. You could be in a waterfall with your legs up against the wall. You can lie in traditional shavasana, flat in corpse pose, palms up. I'm going to be in a seated cross-legged position coming into yoga mudra, and we'll just work real quickly. It might take 3 or 4 minutes in a quiet meditation, and working on lengthening the breath during this meditation, and also considering your intention for your practice and how you met that challenge, and also considering your intention for your day or for your week during this. And we'll just take 2 or 3 or 4 minutes in this pose. So find a relaxation that you choose. Make any last final adjustments. Closing the eyes, resting, calming the body down, paying attention to the energy that's existing in the body now. And allow the thoughts to come into your mind and let them go. Don't attach yourselves to the thoughts. Allow yourself to return to the breath. And imagine yourself in a strong, confident way showing up today. Focusing on the breath, lengthening the inhale, lengthening the exhale. Using the inhale to bring positive energy into the body. Using the exhale to push the energy throughout your body. Inhaling and exhaling. And with the last few breaths of our meditation today, return your thoughts to your intention. And again, imagine yourself working toward that today. What that looks like and feels like to you. When you're ready, you can bring small movements back into your fingers and toes, your wrists and ankles, arms and legs, reaching out, stretching, basking in the energy that exists. And when you're ready, bring yourself back up into a seated cross-legged position. And for the last 2 minutes of our practice today, we'll rest in Yoga Mudra and then we'll be done. So Yoga Mudra is our cross-legged position or lotus pose, what you're comfortable with. Right hand wraps around the left wrist, flat spine, exhaling as we come into the fold. Allowing ourselves to soften and become completely comfortable. Inhale to release. Bringing the hands back to heart center. Today I offer gratitude for joining me, and my wish for you is motivation and enthusiasm today. Namaste. We'll see everybody back on Thursday. It's good to have you in class today. Hopefully this was helpful for your hips and got you what you needed. See you all.